today we have a special guest with us, Rob Severin. Rob, we're honored to have you today at Century 21. So Rob is our top franchisee in the country. And this is going to be an interesting discussion because Rob comes from Hoedspruit. His franchise office is in Hoedspruit, which, as we know, is not the biggest territory in South Africa, and yet you run one of the most successful franchises in South Africa. And in fact, in a few hours' time, you're boarding a plane and you're on your way to Las Vegas because you are our National Principal of the Year 2023, and Yvette Thompson, our National Agent of the Year 2023, is joining you. So I want to ask you a few questions. The first thing is, even though you operate such a small territory relative to the Sandtons and Cape Towns of this world, how are you finding the collaboration of aligning yourself with an international brand like Century 21? How are you finding that collaboration in your own business in Hoedspruit?
Thank you, Harry. Nice to be here. It's always good to get through to head office and meet the team and see who's behind the backgrounds and the scenery. When we talk about a small area, I think geographically it can be quite large, but obviously it's way fewer properties and way less development, so it is a smaller market. In terms of the collaboration, we are 5 hours from Joburg, and we're probably maybe an hour and a half from Royden and White River, and then Kruger South, so we don't have a lot of our colleagues around us, so we do feel quite removed. But I think the Century 21 brand is so large that people from out of town are now recognizing it, because there's now 50 offices in the country or more, and people globally know Century 21. Now, being a tourism market, we get a lot of tourists coming through Hoedspruit, and they immediately identify with the Century 21 brand. So, some of that comes in the brand recognition and knowing Century 21. In terms of collaboration, Royden and the Kruger South office, Marion, we've got together and we've had training sessions together to get the team around and get additional training in and get to meet our colleagues on that side of things for the referrals. So we collaborated with those the nearest to us, but again, it's a cell phone and an email away from anybody else in the country. So we do speak, I do speak to offices throughout the country, and when we need to pick their brain and get ideas or do referrals, we have that ability being a national brand.
Yeah. So you're saying, I want to pick up on your point of brand awareness, and from the numbers we see from you and your office, a significant percentage of your buyers are international buyers. Almost a third, you said to me, and that's wonderful. And do you think a lot of that is to do with brand awareness, brand acceptance? In other words, some of your clients coming from Germany or France or Australia, UK, etc., already familiar with the brand. So when they land in Hoedspruit, they see the Century 21 brand there, they can immediately identify with it, and that gives them some type of comfort to deal with you. Would you say that's important?
It's obviously important, but I think it goes beyond, even further back than that. Before they even get to South Africa, they've already seen who are the agents or the property professionals at markets, and they would send inquiries. So our lead time to sell a property can be years or months.
Yes.
It's not often that it's days or weeks. Yes. So people arrive here knowing that they've got appointments set up with the vet, with Rob, Michelle, whatever. So they arrive here ready, if they're ready to buy. If they come on a holiday and they're not expecting to buy, because we know what happens, you go to a place, you fall in love with it. Then
it's an impulse purchase.
Yeah, then obviously there's a really good likelihood they'll come into our office. Now, if it's 25 to 30, maybe a third of the market is foreign owned, obviously our competitors do deals. Obviously they do foreign as well, they might have the stock. But I think we do a high proportion of those deals, which does bode well with international brand. It does say we're getting to meet the clients first. If we service them properly and we give them the service they require, they don't really need to go anywhere
So
else.
it's one of the benefits of being aligned with a
Absolutely,
brand.
I wouldn't want to not
Yeah.
have a brand that's
Yeah.
not recognized
Correct.
locally or globally.
And then obviously we know what you do. We can only do so much for you at a head office level, but you being the area specialist, and you know the intricacies of that market and what your purchasers are looking for and what your sellers are looking for. You've developed over many years your own database and your own marketing initiatives, whether it be social media, whether it be websites, etc., and that's obviously assisting you. So you're in tune with what your market requires, and you don't wait for head office. You continue and specialize in your own unique ways of marketing. That correct?
It is correct. I think we're starting to follow more the Century 21 way because it works for a reason.
Yeah.
It's an international brand for a reason. It's effective. So when we opened up, and you'll know this, Harry, because I joined just before you, we were down to 15 odd officers. So I always saw myself as an independent. I didn't really know Century 21. I never knew the previous owners or the previous brand intensely. So I just got on with the knitting, and we created our systems. I never came from a background of real estate, so I just took what I'd learned and picked up, and I made a system. We still have some of those systems operating today, but we've definitely now almost at points we've run parallel systems. The old system, the new system, saying well double is double, but it's also more.
Yes.
And take the marketing for instance. There's you can rely on one website, we can maybe rely on an additional one. If you do a newsletter, we can do a newsletter. So we've kind of doubled up, but I think we're definitely moving closer to the brand, and then just tweaking it for what we need in our market.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk to you about, Rob, is you're one of the principals who manages to keep a team together for the long term. And you're obviously a great guy and a great principal. Do you consider your own agents, to be partners, to be collaborators, or do you see them as a utility, as a tool? I would think that you treat your agents as true partners in your business.
Yeah, so it's a good question. So I mean, in the early days, I was desperate to grow and desperate to get this business off the ground, and I had a series of agents coming and going, and realizing that I was employing and teaming up with the wrong people. And then I started becoming a lot more discerning in who I select.
Yeah.
And I this is the wrong thing to tell other franchisees. I don't believe in chasing talent. I believe good talent comes to you. But I'm in a position where I do know I've got to attract the right talent. But when I attract it, then and you found it, you've got to look after it. You've got to nurture it.
Yeah.
And I think if you get the right people, and at the end of the day, they must be successful and make money, and they must enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
And if you can keep that balance, I think there's no reason to go anywhere else. You know, just changing brands is a hell of an expense to changing a career or a job. And once you've got it established, that is yours now. And I think with Century 21, when you own the brand, the office, your listings, you own it. That's yours.
Yeah. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because we've got, I mean, you one of the collaborators, partners, I like to refer to you as a partner, not as a franchisee. You're one of our partners who uses all the tools and systems of Century 21 correctly and embraces our initiatives correctly, understanding that if you do use all the tools and all the initiatives, you will attract the talent that you refer to, and you'd retain the talent that you refer to. But I want to ask you about Hoedspruit. Has Hoedspruit still got one robot or two robots?
No robots.
Or has it grown? Has it got
no?
We
got no robots. We don't have. We almost need one, but I think there's a reluctance to have it because the companies we're growing. We've grown significantly in the last few years. I think after COVID. There's been a lot of people who are now working remotely, trying to move to a better lifestyle. So it's putting pressure on the town, but it's a strong town in terms of it's run by a strong community. It's a community town. I want to say that we don't sit back and wait for things to happen. We get stuck in, and everybody in every area.
That's wonderful. And Rob, I just want to say that you exemplify the type of partner we want. We want businesses to be businesses for life and careers for life. And you're a leader in our group, and it's refreshing to hear you basically vindicate what it means to be with Century 21. And isn't it absolutely amazing that here is a person from a remote town, and there are plenty of remote towns in South Africa, but here's a person who's embraced the Century 21 global brand and everything it stands for, and you've been very successful. So Rob, I just want to say we're very, very proud that we're sending somebody, Yvette, our top agent, we're sending them to Las Vegas as our national agent of the year, coming from a town that hasn't even got a traffic light. So we feel very, very proud of what you've achieved, and good luck, and thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Harry. I still remember what you once taught me or mentioned to me. There's no such thing as a bad market. And Hoedspruit was a small town and had its issues in the early days. And I sometimes questioned my sanity of staying in a small town when I could be in a big city. But there's no such thing as a bad market. And I think if you stick to the fundamentals and you do the principles of real estate, money can be made in any market. And I think right now there's a lot of negativity across the country around property and what's dropping and where you can sell, when you can't sell. Things will even themselves out. And there's opportunity in bad markets.
So you've got to specialize wherever you are.
There's opportunities in bad markets. In fact, when markets are too stable, the opportunities become less.
Because there's no sellers.
There's no sellers, there's no stock, there's no money. You can find a million reasons, but adapt to the market. And I just said, well, you know what, I'm here for the long haul. I'm going to make a go of it. I was lucky I stuck around and was successful to get myself into this position. But you got to believe in what you're doing and just forge on through and not worry about the noise. If you're passionate, you will be successful.
And specialized. So I want to end up by saying, Rob sends me pictures every now and again on the obstacles he experiences going to work. And I come across these beautiful lions, or prado lions in the road, elephants in his way, and that's Rob's lifestyle. So Rob, I'm so happy that everything's coming together for you. You're in a sweet spot. You're in a territory that you're passionate about. You're in a career that you're passionate about, and that shows through to your success. So thank you, Rob. Enjoy yourself in Las Vegas, and all the best to you.
And thank you to your team as well for helping us get there. And my team, we can't do this alone. We were, one family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.